I worked night security at a commercial office building that had been vacant for almost a year. 6 floors, underground parking, no tenants, no overnight staff, just me. The job was simple: patrol, monitor cameras, log anything unusual. If something broke the routine, I was supposed to investigate it immediately. That rule mattered more than I realized. At 1:58 a.m., camera 3B tripped a motion alert. 4th floor. That alone wasn't unusual. Sensors were old, but what bothered me was where it triggered. The hallway. That hallway had no windows, no vents, nothing that should move unless someone was physically there. I watched the feed. The camera caught the motion, then stopped. No one in frame. I waited a full minute. Nothing. I grabbed my flashlight and took the elevator up. The 4th floor smelled stale, like dust and old carpet cleaner. The hallway lights were on. That meant motion had happened recently, within the last 5 minutes. I walked slowly, checking doors, listening. Halfway down the hall, I noticed something that made my stomach drop. One office door was not fully closed, just barely cracked. I stood there longer than I should have, listening for breathing, movement, anything. Nothing. I pushed the door open with my flashlight. Empty room. No furniture. No signs of anyone. I closed the door and finished the patrol, trying to convince myself the latch had failed. I logged it. Over the next 2 weeks, motion alerts came in at the same time every night. Between 1:50 and 2:10 a.m. Always the 4th floor. Always the hallway. And always one door, the same one, found slightly open. I started changing how I patrolled. I'd pause before turning the corner. I'd listen longer than necessary. I'd keep my hand on the radio. Still, I never saw anyone. That almost made it worse. One night, I decided to stop responding immediately. Instead, I watched the monitor when the alert came in. The hallway lights turned on. Then, something subtle happened. The door opened further. Not fast, not sudden, just slowly, like someone easing it open from the inside. But no person entered frame. The door stopped moving when it was about a foot open. Then the motion alert ended. I rewound the footage. The door had already been closed at the start of the clip, which meant someone had been inside that room before the sensor triggered. I didn't call it in. I didn't want to look stupid if it was airflow or bad hinges. I took the stairs instead of the elevator, quieter. When I reached the 4th floor, the hallway lights were still on. The door was open wider than I'd ever seen it. And this time I heard something. Movement. Not footsteps. Breathing. Slow. Controlled. Like someone trying very hard to be quiet. I froze. I didn't announce myself. I backed away and called the police. They cleared the floor in under 10 minutes. No one was there. But inside Unit 4 to 417, they found something new. A sleeping bag rolled tightly under the desk. A half-empty water bottle. And food wrappers dated that week. Someone had been living there. Using the building when I wasn't on that floor. Listening for my patrols. Learning my routine. Before they left, one officer asked me a question. "Why didn't you check the storage room by the stairwell?" I told him I always did. He shook his head. "It hasn't been logged once in the past month." That room was directly behind the hallway wall, right where the motion sensor was. Whoever was hiding there had been triggering it intentionally, to pull me away, to see where I went. They never found the person. No fingerprints, no footage, no forced entry. But on my final night, I checked the logbook before leaving. Between my last 2 entries, someone had written a single line. That was accurate. Too accurate. I never went back.